Hello and welcome to Steve's Vintage Model Builds. I'm Steve. How is everybody today? Hope you're doing well. Uh, we've had a bit of weather here, um, rather severe. First, we had last weekend. We had the tail end of a Pacific typhoon roll in, so that brought a bunch of rain and some wind. Um, we were okay, but yeah, a lot of places up north got hit, and then they got whacked again this weekend on Friday. High winds and heavy rain. There were landslides. People were trapped and had to be rescued. They had to be flown out by the RCAF Air Sea Rescue. And fortunately, as far as I know, no one's been killed. And the people who had to be rescued, they were checked out at the hospital, and everything was fine. They were just cut off by a landslide. Couldn't get out. So yeah, it's pretty wild country up there, and considering technically, I guess we are on the verge. We're on the outer edge uh, uh, of civilization here. The next civilization, you keep going, is Japan. So, anyways, yeah, but it's a great place to live, wonderful place to live. Okay, so what are we doing today? Okay, I'm going to talk about a couple different things and do one kit review. A couple little show and tell things. I got these. Um, there. Now you can tell what they are. Yeah, I got these. I think they were about, I don't know, $16. What is there? And there's yeah, 16 different ones. So and they're all for fine detail work. Let me see if you can see this. There. So very fine tips and points, and there's wider ones too and flat ones. So it's a nice variety of things. And which brings me to what I was going to show, or one of the things I'm going to show. So I enjoy doing the figures, and when I returned to the hobby, one of the first kits I built was this. That's the World War I Mark IV mail tank. It's an Airfix Vintage Classic, and it's a nice little kit. Nice little kit. Went together nicely. As you can see, it weathered up well, and yeah. So, anyways, I had a thought to maybe do a diorama. So I got these 176 British soldiers, and why in the world I decided to start with 176 soldiers after not having painted a figure in over 40 years, but I did it, and for a first effort after all that time, I think it turned out pretty well. Can I get a zoom on this? There's a better look. And they look a little pasty faced. But I think they turned out pretty good, especially considering I wasn't using a special brush. I think I used this one's cut off, but I think it was a brush like this, just a regular old tester's brush. So, anyways, yeah. So, and now I've graduated a bit, and here I have 176 figures. and I think we can see improvement here. um, these look bluer than they are. It's actually German gray. So anyways, yeah. So yeah, I'm pleased that I've improved. And brushes like that will help me improve even more. So, because they're fun. And yeah, so, okay, what's next, Kath? Okay, here we go. I'm not going to open this today. It's just a little kit I picked up at my local hobby shop. Oops. There. Get rid of the mister on up there. There we go. Okay, yeah. So I have this kit from Academy, manufactured by Academy, in 135 scale. I was in the hobby shop the other day and I saw it, $20, right? And but it's 172, and it's actually an old Revell kit. That's a rebox. It's been reboxed, and Academy's done a few of these. They've done the Henschel turret Tiger as well. That was a Revell rebox, and they look okay, except the tracks come in. They're hard plastic and they come in sections. I know people have stuff to say about the rubber tracks. I don't have the patience for the individual links. I'm quite intimidated by them, and I don't require that level of detail to enjoy the hobby. So, but I think definitely the rubber band tracks would be better than this in sections. I had a look at it on YouTube, somebody building it up, and yeah, it seemed you could really tell, because this part here is like one piece, a partly curved piece, and then there's this flat piece, and same at the back, a small piece, and then one at the top. And so, anyways, I guess, but it looked like it was pretty easy to tell where the joints were on these. But anyways, for $20, whatever, and I'll have a baby Merkava to go with my 135 that I'm so proud of and pleased with. Yeah, shown that before. I'm not going to show it again. Now, next. They did it again. They did it again. I mean, what's wrong with this site? And I mean, like I've said it before so many times that, normally I don't care that much about the box, although this one I care about. It would have been nice to have it. But this has happened before. I don't think it's Amazon. I ordered it from Amazon. I don't think it's Amazon. I think it's the shipper who. So, anyways, it's their tracking number and everything. I'm not going to mention the name. And in the past, when I've contacted Amazon about it a couple of times, one time I was offered a replacement kit at no charge to me, or a $15 credit. And I didn't want two model kits, especially since the same thing would probably happen. So I took the $15 or whatever it was, and it was on more than one occasion. Anyways, I think they gave me a full refund on one because not only that, but it came all squished, and the contents were okay. But this is just thoughtless. I mean, come on. right? I mean, really. And it's such a nice box. And also, when I visited the Tamiya headquarters last December, um, of course, this car's on display, so I got to see the real thing. And so, anyways, yeah, it just, it pisses me off. But it's just, pardon my language. Um, you know, it's, I know some people would get really upset, and I kind of did too. So, but, it's kind of hard to get a hold of Amazon to talk to a real person. And whenever I have, they've all been very nice and very accommodating. And, so, and, I tell them, I'm not fishing for refunds, but you need to communicate with whoever's doing this that a lot of people won't find that acceptable at all. If it was wrapped in cellophane, even I could understand. But this isn't going to come off. They're designed to not come off. I mean, and if it does come off, it's still going to have marred the. Well, anyways, maybe this box is glossy enough. It's okay. So anyway, so here we've got the Lotus Type 79, 1978. It's 120 scale, Tamiya. Their catalog number 20060, and it's part of their Grand Prix collection. So, anyways, so it's signed artwork, Akira. And congratulations to Japan's new Prime Minister. They elected, for the first time ever, a Japanese lady who seems quite competent and quite a character. She was, her name is Sanaya Takaichi. And she's about my age, 63. And she's had a reputation of a bit of a wild one over her time. She was a drummer for a heavy metal band for a time, and she likes fast cars and motorcycles, and she's and of course, as soon as they did that, then the North Koreans fired a bunch of missiles, so she had to dive right into it. And now she's off to her first ASEAN conference. So she seems to have great ideas. I'm not going to go into it, but personally, I'm very pleased at the policy she's expressed. Anyways, congratulations. Okay, and so now we have this. More. Okay. Let's see what we got going here. There we go. More paint box liner. Okay. Well, now that's. Oh, here's the write-up. Okay, so yeah, I'm just going to read the write-up. Since their debut race in 1958, Team Lotus has contributed a number of pioneering innovations to F1 racing. For example, the Lotus 25 from 1962 was the first F1 machine with a monocoque chassis. The Lotus 49 from 1967 was designed so that its DFV engine was an integral part of the chassis, and the Lotus 49B from 1968 had the distinction of being the first F1 car to have a full sponsor livery. Among these important contributions, the introduction of ground effects cars, the result of the aerodynamics research, can be considered as one of the main highlights. Starting in September 1975, a special group worked independently of the racing team to develop the Type 78 wing car, which debuted in 1977. And there's a bunch of technical stuff here. Which well, I guess car enthusiasts would be interested in. So anyways, yeah, so get on with it, Kev. Okay, when the car drove at speed, the airflow under those, it featured a slim monocoque chassis and wide skirted side pontoons with undersurfaces shaped like inverted aircraft wings. When the car drove at speed, the airflow under these pontoons created downforce, which pressed the car closer to the track surface, thereby enhancing grip for greatly improved cornering, braking, and acceleration performance. Furthermore, the fuel tanks were placed behind the cockpit and within the side pontoons, close to the car's center of gravity, in order to reduce any adverse effects that changing fuel levels would have on handling. Gunnar Nilsson and Mario Andretti drove the car in 1977, and despite early season troubles, they went on to record 1 and 4 wins respectively to prove the car's enormous potential. Round 6 of the 1978 session saw the introduction of what can be called the definitive wing car, the Lotus Type 79. Before we go any further with that, I just want to mention, when I was young, F1 wasn't really on the radar. I grew up in Ontario, in central Canada, just north of the U.S. border. And of course, it's always been NASCAR. There was always the Canadian Grand Prix in Montreal, but, Montreal's kind of in a different country, so, it was pretty much the same anyways. So, but of course, Mario Andretti was the king of Indy cars, and at the time, and he was a remarkable man, and I don't know if he was the first, but he was certainly the most successful to migrate over to F1 from Indy cars. And so, he proved himself as a great driver in both genres. So, so that's kind of interesting and adds a little bit of extra interest for me. And I think there's a decal that says Mario that you can apply. So, there's a bit more technical stuff here about where stuff was placed and refined. 5 were built. 79-1 was the prototype and was tested at the Paul Ricard circuit and featured side pontoons with distinctive wedge-shaped profiles which tapered sharply just before the rear tires. The Type 79 greatly influenced later F1 machines, and its overwhelming speed, as well as graceful design and livery, earned it the nickname Black Beauty. And it was very successful in the 79 season. A whole bunch of firsts and seconds. And I think the team won whatever there was to win back then. Like I said, I still didn't, even then I didn't. There was a bit more interest because of Andretti, but anyways. And I was never much for car racing anyway. So. Okay, so let's take a look at these decals first. We'll go through the parts. And then the instructions. I also built the Tyrrell P34, the 1977 Grand Prix winner from Tamiya. That car is also on display at the museum, at the head office. Okay, and so we've got, what have we got here? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 firsts and 3 seconds. And we have decals for the safety harness. Yes, it does say Andretti. So this is the Andretti version. And then there's these metallic things. I don't like them. I've had them a couple of times, and I don't like them. And then of course here we have all of these, the Olympus. Oh, that's a little disappointing. One version, I don't see it here. One version showed under the wing, or the spoiler at the rear, on the underside, it was like John Player Special, and John Player Special up the side here, still Olympus, but anyways, this is just Olympus. I guess even the fun police got a hold of it. Or the no fun police. I mean, I get it, I was a smoker for decades. 40 years almost to the day, and I had a massive heart attack. And was very fortunate. I survived. And quit smoking. Anyways, I've told that story before. But yeah, the point is, it's one of the best things I ever did, and I don't know why I did it sooner. It's I'm not gonna preach about it, but the doctors all told me otherwise. I was very healthy. It was the smoking, and I was like that close to not being here. Even so, my cardiologist calls me a 1%er. My GP called me a 3%er in 2020. After 5 years later, only 3% of people are still around 5 years after what happened to me. And then my cardiologist, actually it was just this year, my cardiologist told me I'm a 1%er. That is, only 1% of the people survive 10 years. So I'm a very lucky man in so many ways. Anyways, okay, so let's take a look here. And we have, I believe, this model is designed just like the P34 was, and I think a couple of others. You can actually just put this together as is without um, without painting. um, the chrome here, I'm not going to take it out of the bag, but the chrome looks very nice. There's no flash. Um, Again, I'm not going to take out the tires, the rubber tires. The seams will have to be sanded down as usual, but they feel good. And then there's some vinyl tubing for engine electrics and some kind of a whatever you call those things. Okay, and I will take this out. And that's what I ended up doing with the P34 was I was getting disappointing results with painting still sometimes. And so I didn't want to spoil it by trying to paint it, so I just put it together. Okay, now what do we got here? Okay. Okay, so we've got the upper part of the body here and the driver compartment. On the other side here, we've got some photo etch for the engine. They go on top of these blower things, or whatever these are. Blower things, that's what they are. Okay, so that can go back in there. Very nice of them to do that, protect that from getting squished because they're raised. And okay, so we've got that. That's in sprue rack bag number 1. This doesn't look too complicated. We'll take a look at the engine. I struggled a bit with that on the P34. I hadn't done an engine like that before. I don't know if I showed it or not. I was, I wasn't disappointed in it, but I wasn't crazy about it either, the way it turned out. Anyway. Okay, and so we've got the driver's seat here, and that has some contour worked into it. Again, absolutely no flash at all. Molding's perfect. All the parts are on the rack. And then we've got engine parts here. I would probably paint the engine up. Yeah, these are always tricky. The exhausts, they were kind of weird. But yeah, the engine's nicely detailed. And I think on top of the block, it's, it says Ford, and you can paint that up. Excuse me. And back to more black pieces here. These are the scoops and the pontoons. Looks like brakes, transmission maybe. I don't know. What do I know from this stuff? A little bit disappointing. There's no figure, but maybe I can scare something up. And here we have everything it looks like for the suspension. Again, more exhaust. Yeah, mostly suspension and then brakes here. So, yeah. That goes there, that goes there. Okay, and yeah, actually, I picked this up a while back. It's got a driver figure there. So that might make for a nice little diorama. I also have the driver from the P34. I didn't put that in because I wasn't happy with the paint job. Anyways, okay, so here we go. Okay, and I should say this was a new tool in 2010. Which isn't that old. So, anyways, okay, so we get the usual everything at the beginning. Paints you're gonna need. Basic tools. Get your little mechanic buddy giving you your tips as you go along. And then there's all the usual how to apply the metal transfers, and I didn't like them. I think anyways they how do I put it, the edges stick out too far and it's obvious, so anyways, probably some silver paint would do just as well, but anyways, or even a silver marker, but we'll deal with that when the time comes. So yeah, so here we go. We start at the beginning. And there's car number 5, car number 6. I'm not sure which was which. I think Andretti was 6, but I don't know. So yeah, so you get started with this. Oh, that's what the poly cap is for. And so let's zoom this a little bit. There, that's better. Okay, and yeah, so we've got the front here, the brakes, and la la la. And moving down, we've got the springs, the rest of the suspension. It's wishbone, I think, isn't it? I don't know. And then we start in with the cockpit compartment. Seat goes in. They give you a nice detail here of what needs to go where. And we've got it looks like we've got decals or decals for the dashboard displays with gauges. And then we've got the wheel, installing the wheel, and then the underside, and then the motor. The motor doesn't look too bad. These are always kind of weird, but we can deal with that. And then here we've got the, what do you call it? You know what I'm talking about. And again, how it has to go, how the vinyl tubing, finishing it up, cylinder head, isn't that what it's called? Then we've got exhaust, rear brakes, differential and transmission. And then we've just got the final assemblies, the rear suspension, exhaust, putting the engine block, attaching that to the drivetrain. Exhaust. This is always kind of weird. The positioning is kind of weird and tricky. And then that whole assembly goes on to the car body. And then we've got the radiator. Then we've got the underside of the chassis, the pontoons, the wings. And then we just got, the final details. This is the air funnel cover. That's what they are, air funnels. Which makes it look really cool. And then we got the wheels, putting the wheels on. And then we have painting instructions here. Oh, Mario Andretti, number 5. There we go. And looks like there's some little photo etch parts. Those should be great fun. Yeah, so that's it. Oh, and the kit itself, I think it was about $60, $65. But I used rewards points, so it didn't really cost me anything. Okay, so that's going to go up with the McLaren and the Porsche and the Lotus Europa, or the Porsches, I should say. Got a couple of those. My goodness, I'm gonna have to get busy. Good thing winter's coming. Excuse me. All right, so that's it for today. Even though we covered a few subjects. Oh, got new glasses. Aren't they nice? Yeah. It's nice to look through glasses that don't have a big scratch right down the middle. I got a second pair coming. I got to go pick them up. Anyways, yeah, so thanks again. I'm up to 167. No, 637. Heart attack hit. 637 subscribers. Thanks to everyone, especially the newcomers. And thanks for everybody else's continued support. Hope you like what you see. And so, oh yeah, next week, I talked about the weather a little earlier and some things got held up. Amazon had a glitch, but all that affected was my cat food delivery for one day. But anyways, yeah, so I was supposed to have a couple kits come in this week from the warehouse on the mainland. But I guess because of weather and stuff, things didn't come across. So anyways, they're going to come next week, and the place was closed for a bit too. I don't know why, but anyways, they're back in business. So yeah, they just told me at the hobby shop, sorry, but it's going to be next week. So yeah, so we got one little kit that'll be of some interest, and a big kit coming. So for rating this kit, there's nothing wrong with the kit. I can't ding them on the packaging because that's not Tamiya or Amazon's fault. That's these people's fault. And so the only thing you could maybe, some glossy instructions would have been nice, and a driver figure would have been nice. Not, just a standing driver figure would have been nice. But I got one of those, and so I'll deal with that. Okay, so yeah, so that's it. And so, out of the total 12, I'm going to give it. I'm going to give it an 11. So that's 10 standard points. No real wow factors there that deserve any bonus points. But actually, no, 10.5. Yeah, I'll give it a 10 plus an extra half for value. It's a good value for the price. So yeah, so that's it for now. Thanks again, and we'll be coming back with a review of the new thing coming in when it comes in. Bye now.